Welcome in here for our final game this evening from Scott High School. Chris Kidd here with you. Butch Mounts, our engineer and cameraman here on video productions this evening, as Danville attempted an onside kick to open the game, and now a flag comes in at midfield as the officials wave it off, or they say illegal touching by Danville on the play, so Lincoln County declines it. And the Panthers have the ball to start the game here, as these are the older groups, the 10 and 11-year-olds for both sides. Again, we saw the 8 and 9-year-olds in the B team in our first game today. Just finished our younger division with the C team playing, the 6 and 7-year-olds, and now you get the big boys here for our final contest today. As Lincoln County was shut out in the first two games here tonight, 32-0 in the B team game, 26-0 in the C team game. Now the A teams go at it, and again the officials having some difficulty getting things going here in this A team game so far. I'm not sure what all the discussion's about right there at the 50-yard line, if they're missing an official or what at this point. But we had a sizable delay for the kickoff, and now we've got one before the first play, so it appears we're finally ready to go. And Lincoln County will operate out of the pistol here on 1st and 10. Low snap picked up. They'll take off to the left side with it, trying to get to the corner, but not able to do so. As Brantley Berry, the quarterback, tried to turn the corner, but ends up losing about 3 yards on the carry. That's been most of the story of the night for Lincoln County in the first two games, is just trying to establish some sort of running game. They've been able to have a couple of decent runs, but nothing of much significance yet in either game. So now we'll see if the A team can fare any better against this Danville defense. Berry once again in that pistol, 3 backs behind him. He'll take the snap, rushes near side, cuts upfield, has a little gap across midfield, fighting his way forward before running into a slew of yellow jerseys, where he's brought down after about a 4 to 5 yard pickup. It looks like they'll spot him down close to the 47-yard line, so that'll make it about a 3rd and 7. Panthers try and start out this game on a stronger foot than they did earlier today. Berry from the shotgun formation. We get a whistle and a false start, it appears. They think they got it on one of the wide outs here on the near side for the Panthers. That's going to move Lincoln County back 5 yards and make this a lot more difficult of a 3rd down here. It'll be 3rd down, about 12 now. Panthers with great field position to start this opening drive, but not able to make much of it thus far. Berry will operate out of the shotgun under pressure. He'll roll near side. Had a little bit of space to begin with, but it closes up quick, and he's brought down on the near side after about a 2-yard pickup. Looked to be Pierce Lambert and company there to help make the stop. So now it'll be 4th down and 10 for Lincoln County. Let's see if they elect to punt or if they'll go for it from this spot. Again, the A-team games, unlike the C-team game, you do have punting and returning in this, as Danville does have a man back deep right now, but it appears that Lincoln County is going to go for it here from midfield on this opening drive, as Berry Will operate out of the shotgun. He'll take the snap, rolls far side, but runs right into a couple defenders, and he's going to get dropped for a big loss. And a big stop by Danville to start this game as Riston White came up to make the hit and turn Lincoln County over on downs after their first possession. And now Danville will start out their first possession in great field position at the Lincoln County 43-yard line. The Hawks come to the line. They get a man on here at the last moment. A little bit of confusion on where they're supposed to line up at the moment. They finally get a lineman over on the guard position where they needed. They'll go under center here on first down. Big bunch formation. They'll hand it off out of it to the right side as pushing down close to the 40-yard line goes White on the handoff as Tyler Belcher, the quarterback. Again, I can assume his brother, the quarterback for the C team as well, if not brother, then relative. He had a great game with 2 rushing touchdowns in the last contest. Now Belcher and the Hawks come to the line of scrimmage here on second down, close to 6. Send a man in motion. Belcher will roll out. He's under pressure. Looks into the flat. Has a man out there. Diving catch attempt is incomplete as he tried to find White in the flat. White made a good effort to try and come up with that off the turf, but it'll be 3rd down and 7 now for Danville. Important if either side can establish some sort of passing game in this contest. Again, you don't necessarily expect it out of the B and C teams. And the A teams, you definitely can have more throwing in these games than you usually do with the younger contest. Now we've got movement everywhere as one lineman gets bowled over at the line of scrimmage as Danville went with a hard count, and they do get Lincoln County to jump into the neutral zone. So cheap 5 yards here. Make this a much more manageable 3rd down now as it's 3rd and 2 at the Lincoln County 35-yard line. Come up in almost a goal line formation here. Do the Hawks. White almost tripped trying to get over as Belcher will keep it. Bursts through the line, gets inside the 30 and fights his way down close to the 25-yard line. Again, he just burst through the initial line of scrimmage on the guard side. Picked up great yardage to move the chains and another set of downs here for the Hawks. Belcher will climb under center again. White will go in motion again. They'll pitch it back to him. Trying to get to the corner. He's hit. Stood up, but breaks out of it. Now gets upfield inside the 20. Fighting forwards, got the first down a little bit more inside the 15-yard line. What a run by White that time after he was completely bottled up. He gets brought down, and now Danville's going to burn their first time out. So 2:56 to go in the first. We'll be back right after this as you're watching Danville Hawk Youth Football here on Video Productions. Danville kicks off and nearly able to recover it on that squib kick as Brantley Berry thought it might roll out of bounds, and it checked up right there at about the 36 and stayed there, and he just barely got on top of it in time in order to keep the possession. Again, we apologize for the audio difficulty momentarily. And if you were just with us a moment ago, it was Tyler Belcher who was able to run it in off the left side for a touchdown run for the Hawks to put them up 6-0 in this game. His 2-point conversion was no good. But Danville strikes first, just as they did in the previous two contests today. Now with 2:44 to go here in the first quarter, Lincoln County with their second crack at it. As Berry gives the handoff off far side, and nothing there. As trying to get to the corner was Cameron Merritt, and he just had nowhere to go to as a holding penalty on Lincoln County, and immediately Danville declines it, and they'll take the play as that'll be a loss of 6 yards on that carry. So a wise decline by the Danville staff. Now they bring on Cooper Simmons in a substitution here on 2nd and 16. So we have 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. 3 backs behind Berry as he drops to throw, looks in the flat, and it's intercepted. Picked off, coming back the other way with it. Luke Halley inside the 20 and brought down there as Halley just set back, waited on the throw, and it came right to him for the turnover. And now Danville positioned right at the Lincoln County 16-yard line as Berry seen there. He saw his receiver squatting down, but Halley just sat down right in that zone where Berry wanted to throw that and able to make the interception. Danville had that pretty well covered. It would have been a tight throw by Berry to fit that in, but then you had Halley right there in the way too, so that just compounded the problems on that interception. On first down, they'll roll near side, fires towards the left side. It's caught, rushing into the end zone for a touchdown. And let's take a look. Don't see any flags on the field at the moment. And Danville takes a 12-0 lead as Jackson Smith makes the grab. And Danville, just like that, strikes twice in less than a minute and a half. They take a 12-0 lead with 1:41 to go in the first quarter. Now they'll try and go for two. Again, they threw out of this formation with a 2-point conversion moments ago. Could not convert. Now let's see what the Hawks elect to try and do here. As Nathan Brenniger lines up next to Belcher in the shotgun. Now Brenniger will switch sides. Belcher will give it off to Brenniger. The big back just runs over people and into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. Easy peasy so far for the Hawks as they lead at 14-0 with 1:41 to go in the first quarter. We'll be back after this as you're watching Danville Hawk Youth Football with us here on Video Productions. Danville set to kick off here, leading at 14-0 as Pierce Lambert had quite a few successful onside kicks last season and nearly had one already in this game. So let's see if Danville tries to do it one more time here. This time they'll kick it deep as Berry goes off his hands. He runs back, chase it down inside the 25. take it from there up to the 25. Ball comes out again, but Lincoln County able to get back on top of it this time. That ball was just ripped away from Berry. There just happened to be a Panther right there in the area to sit on top of it to prevent further disaster here in this first quarter. There's 90 seconds remaining in it, and it's been all Danville all the time since about 5:30 this afternoon. And now we get the officials trying to get things settled down as they'll call for time. Lincoln County wants to talk things over as both sides have used a timeout here in the first half thus far. Again, it was a 32-0 win for the B team earlier today. Then a 26-0 win for the C team prior to this contest. And right now, already out to a 14-0 lead is the Danville A team here in this final contest tonight. Lincoln County just trying to find something positive at the moment. Again, their first two possessions have not gone well, turning it over on downs and then the interception. So a couple of turnovers already in this game for the Panthers, and nearly at a third on that kickoff return that they were able to fall back on top of. So we're set to go back to action now. And looks like Danville had too many men on the field or just had the wrong personnel on the field as they come flying on late. So snap it back here on first down, and running back tackled by his own running back on the play. There's miscommunication there as looked like Brock Dudley ran into his own man and knocked him down that time. And that's whenever you know things are not going your way in a quarter. And if you're the Panthers right now, you just love to see this first quarter come to an end and try and regroup. They've had tough going of it so far. Having your own teammate tackle you, almost equivalent of the butt fumble as well. Which that obviously the Mark Sanchez play with the Jets and Patriots, in case there's anyone out there wondering what in the world am I talking about. Now it'll be second down and 15. Snap will come back. Faking the handoff, running to the outside, trying to get away from anybody, and just no way to find any real estate to operate in that time for Landon Vickers. As he was brought down hard from behind, looked like he landed on his knee in an awkward way as he gets up limping. And that's exactly what Lincoln County is going to do heading towards the second quarter, is limping towards it as they trail it 14-0 against Danville after the first 8 minutes of action. We'll be back after this as you're watching Danville Hawk Youth Football action right here on Video Productions. Welcome back, everybody, here on Video Productions. As we are here for the start of second quarter, as Danville leading Lincoln County 14-0 in this A-team contest. And after a tough first quarter for Lincoln County, just kind of got a little bit worse and changed from first to second quarter. They didn't know that they flipped the field to the other side, and poor Panthers were lined up about 100 yards away from where the ball was. They had to come sprinting down all the way to the other side to try and get back in position. And now it's going to be third down and forever as they drop back to throw, ball up for grabs, and it hits the turf innocently at the end of the day and incomplete. They tried to find Preston Black, and that'll be a tough 3 and out right there for Lincoln County. As the line of scrimmage is the 27. They needed the 37 for a first down, and they're all the way back at the 11-yard line. So 4th and 26 it'll be, as Brenniger laid a huge hit on that time to help rush that throw. And now the Panthers will line up to punt it away. Danville should end up with excellent field position once again here. Yes, they did after the interception earlier, as coming on is Brenniger, and he hits the kicker, but did he get a piece of the ball as the ball fumbled and now fallen on there inside the 25-yard line by White. As Brenniger just demolished the kicker coming through trying to block that kick. And he appears to be the one down right now for Lincoln County. And again, Brenniger's just a lot of big boy coming right at you as you're trying to get a punt away. Hopefully he's okay. I'm not sure where Brenniger had his biggest contact point on, but they'll tend to him right now. So while they're taking a look at him, we'll step aside for a quick break. Actually, we'll keep things here. It looks thankfully like he's getting up right now, trying to put some weight on his foot. Try and see who it is for Lincoln County. Again, we couldn't see the number on the punt, and right now he's being covered up by a coach walking him back to the sideline. Okay, now we kind of get a glimpse of it. Appears to be Branton Stickler, wearing number 1, who's limping off the field right now. But hopefully he'll be all right, as he took a big hit from Brenniger trying to come in and block that kick, and absolutely nothing wrong with what Brenniger did right there. He was trying to make the play and come up with a block. Just those are the things that happen when you're going all out like that trying to make a play. Now it'll be Danville ball. Or actually, no, they're going to actually say there was a penalty on the play. So they are going to say there was unnecessary roughness against Brenniger. Again, I didn't see the flag come in, but that is the call. So Lincoln County does get possession back after a 4th and 26. So it's their first down of the game coming through penalty. They'll hand it off on first down, and nothing really there is falling forward for maybe a yard at the end of it. To make it 2nd down and 9. Pushing forward was Owen Cartwright. It'll be 2nd down. Looks like they'll just re-spot it at the line of scrimmage. It seemed like he might have fallen forward for maybe 1, but they say his knee was down back where the line of scrimmage was. Lincoln comes to the line of scrimmage. Trying to find something positive here after a tough start to this game. It's Barry out of the shotgun, sends a man in motion. He'll roll that way with it. Tries to cut up field, but once again, there's Danville all over it. As the defense just continues to be outstanding here today, as White, the one in there to help make the stop. And after he headbutted Belcher trying to help fix his face mask now, or trying to help fix his snaps on his helmet. After White made a tremendous defensive play, and now you're going to get maybe another timeout. And yes, Lincoln County is going to burn their second timeout with 5:57 left in the half. We'll be back after this as you're watching Danville Hawk Youth Football on Video Productions. Back to action here after the second timeout call to the half by Lincoln County as Berry will keep it with a sweep off the right side on 3rd and 9. He'll plunge out towards the 30-yard line, but no further. That's going to bring up a 4th down and about 6, maybe 5 now for Panthers, as they will spot it just past the 30 as Berry was able to reach out for a little extra yardage on that play. We're under 5.5 minutes to go here in the first half.
All kids in the back of the end zone, please leave the field. You hear that one? Thank you.
Well, you heard it. The Scott press box just does not care if children have fun. You just heard it right here, folks. Obviously, that's a safety issue. So now here on 4th down, they'll run Berry outside. A flag came down. Berry's got the first down, but will this hold up? And Berry took a big hit and was wrestled down by his neck, it looked like that time. Man, this has just been a tough evening. If you've been wearing black and Carolina blue tonight, they've had injuries and been shaken up on quite a few plays in every game. And right there you saw the flag come out immediately. So usually a situation where it's coming back, but let's see if there's a face mask or anything called on this. You saw the hat come up by the official. And thankfully it appears that Berry able to get up as the official pointing in both directions, showing there was an illegal procedure penalty against Lincoln County and then a horse collar against Danville. So penalties will offset and they'll redo 4th down. Now Lincoln County is going to have a different quarterback in here on this play as they talk to Zach Cartwright over on the far side, trying to explain to him what it was that transpired as they wind the clock here with 4:47 to go in the first half. It'll be 4th down and 5 once again. And Lincoln County feeling the desperation right now, going to go for it, as they've had a tough time slowing down the Danville offense so far, and they really do feel like they need to do something to try and change the momentum of this game. They snap it back on 4th down, looking for a handoff. They give it off at the last moment. It looked like a busted play, and Danville's able to stop it as Merritt had nowhere to go as the last man through that time. And a turnover on downs gives it back to Danville deep in Lincoln County territory, nearly midway through this second quarter, and a chance to take a 3-score lead perhaps on this trip. Now Danville will burn a timeout here with 4:13 to go in the half, so we'll take one with them and be back after this as you're watching Danville Hawk Youth Football here on Video Productions. Both teams have one timeout remaining now in the half as we come back to action. As they give it off to White on first down. White taking a long trip around, now cuts back in. He's got a lane to the 10, to the 5, and White rumbles his way into the end zone for a Danville touchdown. One play and another score for the Danville Hawks as they continue to dominate here tonight. And they lead it 20-0 here at the midway point of the second quarter. There you saw White. It was almost like he was picking whichever side he wanted to go to. He saw he had a better alignment getting to the outside to make a cut. And once he got back inside, there was just no one going to stop him. So on the two-point conversion, Belcher runs into a guy, now takes off, runs over a man and gets into the end zone. It's a strong run by Tyler Belcher. Makes it a 22-0 lead for Danville. We'll be back after this with the kickoff as you're watching Youth League football action with us right here on Video Productions. Here in Danville, good coverage, able to drop Lincoln County at about the 37-yard line. And apologize for a little bit of the lateness there. We've been up here announcing the games all day. We kind of gave up on the WVU game earlier once it got to 24-14, and I just got online and saw my father posted that WVU won, and then I told Butch that we won, and then the guys in the booth said, yeah, we won earlier, and I said, what? So congratulations, Mountaineers. Good win over Pitt today. Obviously, we can't have the chant on air, especially at a youth league game, but you kind of know the gist of it at this point. So, again, that's great news. So, I guess we can go home and watch the highlights now. Well, it is. Once it got to 24-14, most of us up here just kind of said, well, that's it for that. And so that's a great win after tough loss last week for the Mountaineers, and saw the Herd were winning big earlier today too. So great day football-wise around the country, unless you have parlays out there that are falling apart. So that's usually my story on Saturdays. Now on first down, they'll give it off, and once again Danville collapses the pocket, and it's Brenniger again in there to make the big hit. And a loss of about 2, maybe 3 on that carry. So it'll be 2nd and 13 here with 3:33 to go in the half. Lincoln County has just had tough sledding trying to find any offense in any of these games here tonight. As collectively, if you want to do the math, it's 80-0 overall this evening in favor of Danville. And again, they won 32-0 in the first game. That was the B team game. Won 26-0 in the C team game prior to this one, and now they're up 22-0 in the first half of this contest. It's just been great football for Danville, and Lincoln County's just been looking for answers most of the night. They drop back, looking to throw, now under pressure, and there's Brenniger again with another deep sack on the play as Landon Vickers just had nowhere to go with the football and had no choice but to eat it all the way back at about the 20-yard line. As Lincoln County just continues to go backwards here tonight. They had a 4th and 26 earlier. Their only first down came on that roughing the kicker call. But then they turned it over on downs right after that. Now they're going to face 3rd down and forever. They need the 47-yard line for a first down, and they're trapped all the way back at their own 22. So this will be 3rd and 25. Now, if you're Lincoln County, you're just trying to find anything positive on this down. It's Vickers still in for Barry, who got hurt a little bit earlier in this quarter. He'll drop the throw, fires, and completes it into the middle of the line there, as ball may have come out after the completion to Stickler, as Danville dancing around as if they have it right now, and haven't seen an official signal, and there it is. Danville does have the football at the 25-yard line. Second turnover for Lincoln County. They had the interception earlier, and now the fumble recovery for Danville. And once again, the Hawks will start in prime real estate with 1:33 to go in the first half. Both sides have one timeout remaining, but plenty of time from here for the Hawks to try and go in and score once more. Again, they've scored on one play on their last 2 drives. Belcher will take the snap from shotgun as he sends White in motion. It hit White as he was coming through. Brenniger lays a heavy hit on the far side to give Belcher some time to retrieve the ball. Now here comes Belcher inside the 25. What a juke at the 20. Fights back upfield inside the 15. What a play by Tyler Belcher. Unbelievable. Again, that just seemed destined for nothing but bad things from the outset. And Belcher, after getting a little bit of a reprieve, watch the block from Brenniger. Boom, right at the top of the screen. A little bit of John Madden for everybody. Then the big stiff arm from Belcher to turn the corner, and he just outran everybody. And right there, boy, that's a tough juke right on Cartwright there. And you know what, Cartwright? Would have happened to me too, buddy. So just a good move by Belcher. And now here are the Hawks, 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line as we close in on 30 seconds. Belcher will give it off to Brenniger. He carries a couple people, runs through another, trying to fight through another. It's like trying to bring down a bowling ball. And now Brenniger finally brought down inside the 10, and Danville's going to use their final timeout with 21.6 seconds left in the first half. So we'll keep things here as Danville looks to go up by 4 scores prior to halftime. And Danville also gets the ball to start the third quarter. So just things have been tough and gotten tougher and tougher as this contest has rolled along for the Panthers tonight. But Danville has just played excellent football in every phase in all 3 games thus far this evening. Right now, with no timeouts left in 21.6 seconds, you figure Danville is probably going to throw the ball on this down, but if not, I'd say they've called 2 plays just to be on the safe side. So if they get tackled in play here, they've likely got another play called to get back up to the line of scrimmage and try and get the play off before the clock can expire. We've seen Belcher throw for 1 touchdown thus far tonight. Let's see if he's got another inning. Belcher will roll to the far side. Does look to throw one-on-one coverage out there with Brenniger. Diving catch, and he makes it. What a catch by Brenniger. And it looks like he's down and hurt after that play, as he fell backwards and had nothing to brace himself with, but thankfully getting to his feet now and appears to be all right. So hopefully he just had the wind knocked out of him on that play, as that was a great acrobatic catch and a great throw by Belcher. Again, he put it right there where his big man and only his big man could go and get it. And there you saw Brenniger land, maybe even on his elbow a little bit as he came down after that catch. But thankfully he got up after the fact and struggled for a moment. But that was a heck of a touchdown catch by Nathan Brenniger. Again, he's another lineage player here in the Danville area. Again, there you see good fist pounds for him as he comes back to the sideline as they'll go for 2. They rush it in, and once again pounding their way forward and into the end zone for the 2-point conversion goes Danville, as they now lead it 30-0 here in the first half as Dakota Kennedy takes it in. We'll be back after this as you're watching Danville Hawk Youth Football right here on Video Productions. Yeah. 30-0, Danville leads it with 16.5 seconds left in the half, as Lambert was going to send it deep, but offside's going to be called here on the Hawks, so that'll move them back 5 yards as we creep towards the end of this first half. It's been a first half that's been utterly dominated by the Hawks. 4 touchdowns here tonight, and thus far negative yardage for Lincoln County in this contest. And Danville also gets the ball to start the second half too, just to compound some of the problems for the Panthers right now, as Lambert Company, or actually new kicker on this time, sends it short. A little squibber in the middle of the field, just kind of laying there, and finally picked up by the Panthers and immediately tackled right there about the 45-yard line. And now we've got another player down. Man, this is turning into a tough game on both sides, as we've seen players down left and right in this game. And that time being helped up is Walker Green. He was the one that kicked the ball off that time. But thankfully he appears to be okay. Remember there was a game back in I believe the late 80s, early 90s with Philadelphia and another team. I can't remember exactly what it was now, but they called it the body bag game because so many players got hurt in that game. I believe on the Eagles side that it was just decimating to that roster going forward. Thankfully it's nothing like that here, but we've just seen a lot of players down in all 3 games here this evening. But as we said, thankfully everyone's been able to get up, get off the field, and eventually be able to play again here this evening. I believe Barry's the only one I haven't seen back on the field yet, even though he got up and was able to get off under his own power earlier for Lincoln County. But now it looks like they may have Stickler in to try and run quarterback here. Final 13 seconds of the half. Lincoln County has 1 timeout remaining as this play just disappears into the line. It's actually Vickers who was under center, kind of hiding there as he picks up about 2 yards, but that's it. And that will end the first half as Danville dominates play, and they lead it 30-0 heading into the break. We'll be back after this short intermission for the start of quarter number 3 as you're watching Danville Hawk Youth Football action here on Video Productions. Started the second half here from Danville, West Virginia, here next to Scott High School. Chris Kidd with you, with Butch Mounts, our engineer and camera operator this evening, as Danville with a commanding 30-0 lead at the half. And right now there also will be a running clock in the second half. It'll only stop on timeouts, injuries, or scores, since it is a 30-point game, as Lincoln will squib kick it up the field, gets by, and diving on the ball back at about the 38-yard line is where Danville will start. Again, it was just a dominating performance by the offense in the first half. As they'll wind the clock now. But again, these are just parts of, I guess, the mercy rule for football. And you see it in high school football as well. This is trying to ensure safety in case, it's just so one-sided that it could completely get out of hand, and try and keep it away from running up the score as well as much as you can, as that snap gets away and Danville able to fall back on top of it. As Luke Halley was the one that was able to get it back for Danville, as he's in at quarterback right now. Not sure if they're just making a change to try and see some different looks, but now Halley will air it out here on second down, and that will fall incomplete. As he tried to find White, so now Danville finds themselves in a position they haven't been in all night long, and that's third and long now. But given this 30-point lead, Danville may just want to try some things out, as Belcher's on the sideline right now. He appears to be all right. But you see he and Brenniger, along with White, all on the sideline, so they may just be trying to give some more of the second string a little bit of action here in the second half, as Halley will keep it off the right side, spins forward, took a big hit right there at the 35-yard line as he picked up a yard. But now it's going to be third down and about 13 for the Hawks. We'll see if they like to go for it or they punt it away here. Danville's going to go back and huddle up now and talk it over. And they will decide here to go for it on fourth down. They'll roll near side. Halley will heave it up for grabs, and that's going to be intercepted at about the 43-yard line. It's picked off there by Cavante Cobb. And now flags come flying in everywhere after the play. Again, even if that would have been completed by Danville, that would have been well short of the first down. Lincoln County, we'll see what the flags are now, but we've got an unsportsmanlike penalty against Lincoln County. So now this essentially almost turns out as well as a punt, more or less, for Danville at the end of the day. And Lincoln County would have been better off field position-wise if that ball would have just hit the turf. But now you get the unsportsmanlike on top of it, so that's going to move them back onto their own 41-yard line when they could have had it inside of Danville's 40-yard line had it just been an incomplete pass. But it's been just that kind of a day for the Panthers so far. Even whenever something good happens, it seems like something tough or bad for them comes out of it. Vickers will take the snap. He'll look to throw. Dangerous pass into the flat. It looks like it was hung on to. Again, that was right into double coverage. And his man able to come down with it. Great catch there by Preston Black, the 11-year-old. And a good throw by Vickers. Again, able to beat both defenders to the spot with that ball. That had been intercepted. That had been an easy pick six the other way for Danville. As clock rolls under 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Danville's B team winning earlier today, 32-0. C team winning 26-0, and now the A team leading at 30-0 here in the third quarter. So it's just been all yellow and black here tonight. Vickers will take the snap. He'll look to roll out, trying to find some blocking. Doesn't see any. Spins away initially, but he's hung on to, and he's going to get brought down. Great job hanging on for dear life that time. Appeared to be Xander Kennedy, who was able to hang on to Vickers and keep him held up right there, and waited for the cavalry to come over and help make the stop. Now we fall under 3 minutes to play. Again, Danville will be back at home next week. So they take on Sherman in a three-team clash. Again, that's slated for Sunday. And again, the Sunday start times will be earlier in the day, starting around 2:33 range. Vickers will come to the line of scrimmage here on 3rd down and 10. Take the snap, gives it off to a deep man, but he's brought down, and now was the ball free at the back end of that. It was almost a jailbreak into the backfield by Cooper Simmons that time on the pitch. And there was just no chance for Lincoln County to try and find anything on that play. And it appears Lincoln County did get the ball back. So it'll be 4th down and 17 from their own 34-yard line. The Panthers will go for it here. Now actually they will punt it away, nearly blocked. As takes a hop, dies there, just checked up at about the 48-yard line. And ends up being spotted about the 49. But, yeah, that checked up just like about a 9-iron would. And, I mean, I wouldn't know personally. I haven't achieved that with my 9-iron. But from what I've heard, that's what it's supposed to do on some good shots into a green. I guess I'll find out how bad that works tomorrow morning with my tee time. But now we roll down to the final minute of the third quarter. Danville will come to the line of scrimmage. Again, Halley will stay in at quarterback. At this stage, Danville just trying to protect 3 of their big guns on the sideline, it appears, in the second half, as they'll hand it off on the right side. Nice little pickup on 1st down. As Xander Kennedy will pick up about 3 yards. Down to 35 seconds and counting here in the third quarter. So this could likely be the final play of the third period. Fumbled snap, looked like an errant snap. And it'll be a false start against Danville. Move them back 5 yards. And that will bring us to the end of this third quarter, as it stays 30-0, but Danville still in complete control as we get ready to start the final 8 minutes of action coming up next, as you are watching Danville Hawk Youth Football with us right here on Video Productions. Kennedy will get the carry off the left end. And he'll get it up close to midfield, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 9 as we start the final 8 minutes of play, as Danville built a 30-0 lead in the first half. Now a running clock here in the second half due to the deficit that Lincoln County finds themselves in, as Halley lost the ball as he hit the ground, but they're going to say he was down. And that'll bring up 4th down now for the Hawks. I'd imagine they'll likely go for it here. Danville with some of their backups here in the second half, still looking for their first down, after they marched up and down the field in the first half. As Halley will be the deep man here. Empty backfield. As low snap, Halley picks it up off the right side, trying to get upfield inside the 45, but just going to be shy of the first down, as that was actually Pierce Lambert who took that snap. So again, Danville just trying some different people in at quarterback, running some plays, trying to see what's there, what's not there. Again, it's a good time to experiment in this situation, even if you're on both sides. Just trying to see if maybe there's something you can work on to try and get better for next week, heading towards the end of season in October. And that's whenever you want to try and have your best packages and best plays in. Again, the clock continues to wind here, under 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. As Vickers stays in at quarterback after Barry getting injured back in the first half. He'll take the snap and look to throw again. Throws one towards the far side, completes it. Tackled immediately on the play for a gain of about 4, as tackle made on the play by Dakota Kennedy after Stickler able to come down with a grab. So we've seen Lincoln County throw the ball around a little bit more here in the second half. Passing game has started to work a little bit more here against a few of the backups for Danville. But if you can even have a slightly effective passing game at these levels, it really does change the dynamics of your offense. We even saw that with Danville in the first half, and yet they had the completed touchdown for their second score. And then after that, next few possessions just opened up a lot of running lanes. Vickers on 2nd and 6. He'll roll near side under pressure, trying to get to the outside, cuts up, and he'll get it across midfield as some pushing and shoving on the far side between a couple players. Thankfully, they break themselves up. And now it'll be 3rd down and about 3 here for the Panthers from the Danville 48-yard line. We're at the midway point of quarter number 4 now. Danville going to walk out of here tonight with an impressive performance across the board. These are one of those you like coming to practice next week afterwards, because everyone's happy with how things went. Again, obviously there's going to be things coaches want to work on and see that can be improved upon, but it's always a much lighter, much happier week of practice whenever you have performances like these. They'll snap it back to Vickers under some pressure, trying to break free, but he's going to be brought down back at midfield, so that'll be a loss of 2 on the carry. That'll bring up 4th down and 5. Now, if you're also watching and you're unfamiliar with some of the items on a few of the players' helmets on both sides. Again, those are to help protect against head injuries, concussions, things of that nature. And so you see it sometimes even at the pro level with some of the pro teams now. And one of those things I'd say you'll see maybe implemented more and more as time goes along, as Lincoln County calls a timeout with 3:01 to go here in the game. So again, timeouts, touchdowns, injuries were the only thing that would stop the clock here in these final moments. But Lincoln County wanting to try and get a successful drive in before the end of the evening if they can. Again, they didn't score in the B team game or the C team game, but trying to punch one in here on the A team game. But I like that they have a lot of these players at this level wearing those type of items in order to protect themselves with. Again, the more you do it at a younger age, the more normal it just gets to you and to other people. And so hopefully those protective gear does what it's supposed to do. Hopefully you see that a lot more at every level going forward. As Vickers will throw it in the air, completes it, but it's going to be shy of the first down. And Danville's going to take over on downs with under 3 minutes to go as Vickers under pressure, able to find Preston Black for about 3 yards. But now it'll be 1st and 10 for the Hawks as they look to go to work on this clock. It's ticking down to 2.5 minutes to play here in the fourth. Again, haven't seen Brenniger, Belcher, or White here in the second half, as we said, after building such a big lead. Likely wise just to protect through your biggest hosses going forward as they give it off here on first down. Nice cut up field as Andrew Kennedy able to pick up good yardage down to the 45, close to a first down. It's Danville trying to pick up their first down of this second half. They did all they needed to do in the first half, building this 30-0 lead, and it's held up since then. Halley will keep it himself off the far side. Flag comes flying in as Halley gets the edge inside the 45, the 30, down to the 25, inside the 15, the 10, down to the 5. Halley goes into the end zone, but this could be coming back. And we've seen it so much tonight, touchdowns being called back, and this is going to be another one that's called back as a holding penalty will wipe out that touchdown. And we saw 2 touchdowns called back against Danville's B team, 2 called back against their C team. And now you get 1 called back here in the final minutes against the A team. And what was wild was as soon as he threw that flag, I even thought it to myself. I said, the way things have gone here tonight, I wouldn't be surprised to see Halley score on this. And sure enough, that's what happened as they wind the clock now with minute 17 to go here in the fourth quarter. Danville gets backed up to the 45-yard line. And a 2nd and 11 as they can likely get off 1 more, maybe 2 more plays here before time expires. Let's see if they run the same thing with Halley this time. As snap comes back, it's low, it's picked up, it's Lambert with the ball. He'll plunge out towards midfield. It's almost been a wrestling match between both sides, back and forth at midfield here in the last half of this fourth quarter. So we dip under 30 seconds left in the game. We'll see if Danville elects to run another play or not here after what has been a collective dominant performance by all 3 teams here tonight. 88-0 altogether. Danville has won over Lincoln County this evening as Kennedy gets the handoff, takes it off the right side. He'll be brought down after a gain of 2, and that will do it here this evening as the Danville Hawks give their coach a little bit of a Gatorade water bath as he's trying to outrun everybody right now towards the near side. Well, that's one way to try and get a change of clothes for the car ride home. And another way to freeze a little bit out here in this weather, but celebratory evening for the Danville Hawks here in Danville, West Virginia, as they win all 3 contests here tonight, shutting out Lincoln County in all three as well, and the A-team wins it 30-0. So we're glad you were with us here this evening on Video Productions. Hope you join us once again as football rolls around once more later this week. So for myself, I'm Chris Kidd, and for the Godfather himself, Butch Mounts, engineer and executive producer of Video Productions, I'm Chris Kidd, saying so long here from Danville, West Virginia, as you've been watching youth football action here on Video Productions.